We go continue to dey give our ogbonge support to any federal agency wey tanda for Edo State. Philip Shaibu to National Orientation Agency. Deputy Governor for Edo State, Right Honourable Comrade Philip Shaibu, don tok say di state don tanda gidigba to work with different federal agencies for di state. E tok dis one wen National Orientation Agency pay am one courtesy visit for Tuesday for Government House, Benin City. Shaibu tok say make di agency continue to dey educate di pipo on dia political rights and ensure say discipline dey di political campaign sake of di election wey dey come. E con tok say di government get interest for programs wey go help impact di pipo, reset di economy and see say di lives of di pipo and dia property dey secure. And dem no go discriminate against any agency whether e be federal or state, and dem go continue to collabo and support di agency.
You have a lot of work to do because when the heart starts beating, you know the entire body will be rotting. So as the director of the heartbeat of Nigeria, you have a lot of work to do, and you have a lot of public awareness campaign you need to do so that the other states will key into all the necessary disciplinary measures they need to put in place in terms of making sure that the heart is healthy and is able to pump blood to keep the body working. So for us, we are very conscious of that, and that is why we want to do programs that are impactful, programs that can reset the economy, programs that will help to deal with all the negative things that is already in the society. We also want to set a template for how security should be run, set a template on how the economy can be revived, and make our state a hub of almost all activities that make government work and functions, and also build an economy that is sustainable. You need to just study what we are doing in Edo. That is making Edo safer, and that is also helping to reduce the level of unemployment, and how we're able to transform the basic education, where our children now in their first year in primary, in their first year in primary school, they are able to read and write, and they are used to technology from primary one, and for us, when you are able to have an informed society, it's easy to govern, because when you are speaking to them, they are understanding what you are talking about and they are implementing. They don't need an interpreter to be able to dissect further. So when you have that kind of a society, obviously, growth is faster and better. And that is why we decided that every of these sectors that we meant that have been run down, we have to start from the basic. Is it in health? Health, we are dealing with the issue of primary health care. And you can see recently from the collaboration we had with AMPA, our medical personnel in diaspora, coming for a collaboration with the state on a medical outreach. You can see that we are able to perform a lot of these activities, including surgeries, major surgery, in our primary health care centers. Because for us, that is the area we need to really deal with to be able to have serious impact in the society. Because when our primary health care system is working, the issue of health care, for me, is 60% solved. The problem with Nigeria today that we met is that when you have headache, you are going to UBTH. You have headache, you are going to rural specialist hospital. You don't need to go to rural specialist hospital. You don't need to go to UBTH for headache. These are little ailments that can be dealt with 2 to 3 kilometers from your house. And where are these centers that are supposed to deal with it? Primary health care system. But you agreed with me that before we came that primary health care system was just building. Today we have a prototype that you have solar system, you have water. Those two things are basic for a functioning primary health care system. And we've been able to also put premium on the life of our children through immunizations. We've been put a lot of premium on it. We've been able to convince our people and erase that erroneous belief that immunization of our children is Western thing to deal with the issue of reducing population. We've been able to prove that we need a healthy tomorrow by immunizing our children. And the buy-in of our people is so huge that Edo is also used now as a reference in terms of immunization and disease control. During the COVID, the system we put in place was adopted by National at the end of the day, because our call centers were unique, technologically driven, and our people were able to deal with the issue of COVID in our state. While others are talking about shutdown, we were not talking about shutdown because we got everything under control and we were monitoring. And you can see even during that process, while the International Olympic Committee were still struggling and postponing Olympics, we were able to host National Sports Festival in a pandemic and were able to control the spread across the country. And we didn't have a major incident of using the game as a super spreader at the end of it. And when we took statistics before, during, 2 weeks after, and a month after, everything was stable. National Orientation Agency is not for federal government, it's for Nigerians, and it's for all tiers of government and all arms of government. So the 3 tiers, you need to communicate their activities. At the state level, the arms of government, you need to communicate their levels, all their activities. So, and for us, interestingly, in Edo State, we don't discriminate. We don't know which agency is federal and which agency is state. We deal with all government agencies same. And that is why we can build an isolation center in UBTH. We can build an isolation, a 300-bedded isolation center in Irua Specialist Hospital. That is why we can go ahead. When they were in distress, during the Lassa fever, we were able to, where they had only one functioning machine that was almost grounded in Irua Specialist Hospital, we have to buy 2 additional machines, dialysis machines, 2 mobile X-ray machines, which they never had before, and other auxiliary things to deal with the issue of Lassa in Irua Specialist Hospital, including sinking industrial boreholes in Irua Specialist Hospital. We didn't say that that is a federal institution. No, but the federal institution is in Edo State and carrying out duties for at least 50 to 60% of Edo people. So for us, so far, the agency and facilities in Edo, it belongs to Edo people, even when it has federal coordination. So I can assure you that we, as a state, we definitely not only collaborate, but will support you and other agencies that are here. So far, you are in Edo, you are our own. So I can assure you of that.
The State Director for National Orientation Agency, Austin Odile, con thank the Deputy Governor and Government of Edo State. He con talk say the agency no be for federal government alone, say dem be for every Naija people. He con beg the state government make dem support dem sake of say wetin the federal government dey give dem no reach, and dem still get other things wey go help dem promote their work wella. He con still add say make the government add dem to their protocol list sake of say e go help dem promote the programs of Edo State.
I want to congratulate you especially for holding the fort while your principal was away. Some of us personally have followed your trajectory of political sojourn, right from your days as an undergraduate, student union activities, which culminated in your headship of the National Association of Nigerian Students, and of course, through the political terrain since 1999, and now you are here, the Deputy Governor, we know the sky is your limits. Sir, that singular action of your principal handed over to you speaks for you, that you are a loyal and honest deputy that have brought his uncommon leadership as a unifier and stabilizer to stabilize government activities in the state. Wants to say thank you, congratulations, sir, for the good works. So we are here on three main fronts. One, for the agency to introduce me to you as the new captain of the North Arc in Edo State. Having been appointed as the president through the Honorable Minister for Information to take charge of the affairs since last November. Number two, to introduce, I know you are aware of the activities of the agency by way of formal introduction. The National Orientation Agency is the foremost advocacy organ of government at all levels, the federal, state, and the local government. Our activities will have functions and objectives, but I'll just narrow them down briefly to three for time purposes. Number one, the agency has the mandate to make government policies, activities, and programs better understood by the people, and to mobilize favorable opinion for these programs and activities and policies of government at all levels. Number two is to enlighten the people on government, citizens on government programs, activities, and policies, and to sufficiently mobilize them to support these programs and activities. And lastly, what we do is what we call inclusiveness in governance. And that is, we act as a buffer, as a feedback channel between the government and the people. And this we do by way of collecting and collating the mood, the opinions of citizens on government policies, programs, and activities, on what the government stands for at the federal, state, and local government. Here in Edo State, we want to first of all thank the state governments. Thank you for the support for providing us with an enabling and conducive environment to operate. And we have largely succeeded in the discharge of our activities through robust collaboration and partnership with the state government. And most government activities at this level and this local government level, we participate actively and we educate the people on what these are. I'll just give a snippet of them. In year 2000, I mean, nobody expected the COVID-19. And the state government at least responded swiftly to that by setting up a body which was ably headed and supervised by the deputy governor. All the pillars of the state response team on COVID-19, most especially the strategic communication, surveillance, and all the rest, the agency represented by my humble self was there, and we did marvelously well at least with recommendations. And then when you talk of the state SACA, waste management, you talk of orderliness, helping to control the crowd at government functions, that one we have done well through our paramilitary arm, the White Brigade. So we know it's the federal government body, but the law that established the agency, Decree 100 of 1993, which has become Cap 64 of our existing law, stipulates a three-tier funding for the agency. But I've said since 1999, apart from like I said, the support, the actual funding has just been from the federal government, and that has proved inadequate. So like Oliver Twist, we're asking that you help us reach out at least to His Excellency to consider us when making provisions for other government agencies and parastatals. It could be by way of a monthly grant, it could be by way of provision of facilities. Administratively, for example, Your Excellency, to interest you to know that it's just recently that I don't know agency gifted us with a small bus, project bus, and you can imagine if that would be enough for 18 local government. So we are deficient in that area because mobility is dependent, mobilization, sensitization, and public education is dependent largely on mobility. And administratively, we lack infrastructure like computers. The last we had support from such, we got support from was the very first previous administration, 1999. Computers, all the other software and others to work with, we don't have. Two, we discovered that the agency is not on the protocol list of the state government. So apart from all the other outside collaboration, the state, the agency in the state is not accorded that recognition or being part of maybe government functions and activities. And our activities too, we are trained in the area of collecting and collating information pertaining to security, because we are trained on recognizing and isolating any warning signals, areas and reasons for tension. And this information we share with the requisite and relevant agencies to promptly deal with. We write reports, pulse of the nation, which at least the reports, before we submit to Abuja, are submitted to the state government. And for the state government to be abreast with the activities of the agency, because the activities of the state governments are equally documented and sent to the relevant headquarters authority to know that at least in Edo State here, it is vibrant, it is working, and it is strategical, and it is delivering on the dividends of democracy. And so we crave your indulgence, sir, that it will not be too much. We are asking that you consider us in the scheme of things.
Oluwatobi Odeshola, TMC TV News.